Gibbs, Alchemist, Alfredo 2 is coming. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When's that supposed to come out?
I don't know that it. I didn't see a release date.
They just announced it?
I didn't see a release date on it,
I
but
didn't even see that they announced it.
That's fire, bro.
Like, it's just like...
Yo, Alfredo is a
huge rumors.
banger, bro.
so I'll give you all a quote from the article. They've officially announced a new highly anticipated joint album titled Alfredo 2, sequel to their widely acclaimed 2020 project. The duo dropped artwork for the follow-up album, which nods to the original LP's cover. Of hands puppeteering a dish of pasta. No release date came with the announcement, but the duo have been talking about a sequel since as far back as 2021.
I bet you the project's already done too.
Yeah.
They probably went and made 20, 30 tracks, cut half, put it on the first one. Like, I will save this for the second one.
Yo.
Oh, that's dope. That makes sense.
Just
Man,
because
that's
the
smart.
energy,
See?
that 2020 COVID energy,
I know.
Man, that's all Cats was doing was making music. You know what I'm saying? So I guarantee they stacked. They
had
stacked
to. They had
a
to.
whole 2-3 projects.
What's your thoughts on Gibbs in the sense of, do you put him, I know a lot of the younger generation, well, I should say kind of my generation / this new generation, they keep him in high regard as an MC. You got him up there as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. More than Jim, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not trying to go back to that, but
nah.
you know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
Jim,
It's true, bro.
I think one thing that I have a little bit different to ear for is that, like, I was very into the mixtape scene during that time, and that really it was a bunch of cowboys going crazy on records.
Yeah.
And there was only a few that stood out. You know, I think Saigon stood out during that time frame. Pat Poose obviously stood out during that time frame.
Sky Zoo.
Sky Zoo. There was a lot of guys that came from that era that really stood out. But there's also guys that I knew were never gonna be at that level, but could always be decent enough to make hit records, make good records, and rap very, very well. And I always put Jim in that category. Always.
Jim or Gibbs?
Jim. Gibbs to me is, I put Gibbs in a higher regard than Jim, of course, because I think Gibbs has got a very unique way, and I appreciate it. He has a very unique way of putting projects together from top to bottom.
Absolutely.
I love that. Like, my favorite album of all time is Cuban Links. There's no album better to me in that sense of from track one to the end, because they paid attention to detail. And I appreciate that about albums. When you pay attention to detail, storytelling. And Gibbs has that in him. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys. Another guy from that era that I put in high regard is Pusha T. His albums, to me, are crafted so beautifully from top to bottom because he pays attention to detail. You know what I'm saying? I love that. That's the type of hip-hop that I enjoy.
I'm going to tell you that, like, nowadays, there's a few albums that did that for me. One was Astro World, Travis Scott.
Okay.
I can listen. If you listen to every single track, beginning to end, that whole album goes bananas. You know what I mean? Victory Lap,
Nipsey,
beginning to end.
Yeah.
Every track can get it. You know.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you get an album that's sonically amazing like that.
Like I look forward to albums like that, and it seems like nowadays a lot of the older guys are crafting those projects. Like, I know we didn't talk much about it, but I want to give it some light because I know we're going to talk about some new music before we get out of here, and then we're going to play a quick round of University of Dope before we get out of here. That Slick Rick album, did you hear it?
I did.
Bro, that Slick Rick album, to me, it's not his best body of work, but I love it for now because it's showing these young cats that, like, you can still take your time and make an album, tell a story. He's telling a great story throughout the album, and you don't lose any brownie points at all because you're still making a piece of art. Like, you're not just throwing a bunch of tracks out to see what works. But I mean, there's an art to making an album.
It was still good though. Like,
oh my God, that Slick Rick album is stupid. Have you guys seen the movie yet?
No.
So he just dropped the movie on YouTube, but I haven't peeped it yet. I want to see it though.
We were listening to that Documents track with Nas. The first 3 seconds of hearing that beat, I was like, "Yo, Premiere?" He goes, "Nah, I don't think so." Slick Rick did the beat, and it's like, "Yo, what?"
Slick Rick got some production secret. I'm telling you, I look up artists to see if they got production credits, and cats have tracks that you bang, and you're like,
that's how happy it is.
Who made that?
I know. Yeah, that's how happy. Eminem's like that for me too.
Yeah,
I hear Eminem.
M's production is crazy.
Stupid.
And you could tell when it's an M beat, though. You could definitely tell when it's one of his beats.
Well, his new shit, I don't know. Did you hear the last album?
Yeah.
The Death of Slim Shady?
Absolutely.
So he did, I think he did about 60, 70% of the album, and I had no idea because I couldn't tell those were his beats. Like, it's insane. He must be working, obviously, with other producers, but his ear is insane. But yeah, like I said with Freddie, I think Freddie's one of those top-tier guys, and I'm excited for Alfredo, too. I thought the first one was amazing.
Well, Alchemist reinventing himself year after year after year with all these cats that he works with.
So he won.
He got to be the GOAT now, Doug.
He's up. He's top. He's got to be top 5.
Absolutely.
Of all time.
I agree.
He might round out my 5 spot for sure.
So Gibbs won the Grammy for the Madlib album, right?
Oh yeah.
Or was it Alfredo?
No, it was.
Was that Pinata joint?
It was the Madlib joint. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, still.
He still got nominated for Alfredo. What you think of Gibbs? You a Gibbs fan?
I like him. Yeah. I like Freddie Gibbs. Yeah, for sure. I remember he was on the freshman cover, right?
Yeah,
years ago. Mm-hmm. That's when I first got put on to him was when he was on the freshman cover.
He's dope.
But I don't think he gets enough credit, bro. A lot of people don't know about Freddie Gibbs still.
I don't think he gets enough credit. And his pen game he's another one of those guys where you look at his older projects up until now, that pen is sharp, bro.
Mixtape too.
Yeah.
All that stuff he was dropping.
Was it ESG joints? What they call them? What were those joints called?
I just remember the cover.
It was like ESPN, but it was like ESGN, I think was the name of it. Yeah, that's dope.
The Commission.